Welcome to another $4 million strategy. Today, we're here with Brian Bogert. Today, he is going to talk to us about creating a scalable sales process for your organization, but he's going to come with it from a different angle. Brian, tell us what we should know.
Yeah, well, most people think that they're stuck in sales because they have the wrong strategy, the wrong tactics, the wrong technology, right? It's like, well, if I just go get more sales trainings, or if I have a way to track it in my CRM, or if I know how to have consistent outreach and follow-up, then I'm going to be good. Well, all of that is true and important. So I don't minimize any of that because it is all critical. However, the greatest investment you can make in your sales process is the process with which you approach sales with the people involved, i.e., how are you even reaching out in the first place? How are you establishing contact? What expectations are you setting for those initial conversations? How are you creating the space so that they aren't feeling sold and operating in the conditioned way that they have for every one of your competitors that's trained them to operate and expect certain things? See, one of the ways to stand out as a salesperson is to be able to allow them to feel and experience something different. See, I've got a background in risk management, employee benefits consulting. That's not what I do today, but it taught me a lot of this cold outreach and how do I actually generate and establish sales. And what would I do early in my career? Well, I'd go through the shtick and I'd understand all the ways to pitch my company. And why? Because every CFO, the second I'd sit down with them, would be like, so why are you the greatest person or the greatest company for us to work with? And then I'd proceed to vomit all over their desk and try to go into a pitch when I have nothing relevant and specific to actually answer their question. See, they're going to expect my bias, but they also expected that I was going to ask for losses and plan designs and overall rates so that I could maybe get a chance to market their business, when in reality, that was the worst thing that I could have done for them. And so what did I start to learn how to do? Flip the script and start to actually establish connection and communication that would lead towards alignment and actual sales without having to sell, adding value on the front end in a way that it's so obvious why I'm there. Why did this become important? Because like in many industries, even still like I am today, for me to get hired, someone had to get fired. So I had to understand that, which meant that the only reason they're meeting with me was for one of two reasons. So I got really good at creating what I called an upfront agreement. I'd walk into a conversation, and the first thing I'd say, if they asked me that question, I would respond back with an empty piece of paper. And I would say something to the effect of, look, I know for a fact that you're meeting with me today for one of two reasons. Either your current advisor has screwed something up and you don't know how to fix it, and they certainly don't, or I'm bringing something new to you, or potentially will bring something new to you that could be additive to your organization. If either one of those things are true, then we're going to walk in, figure that out today. But instead of coming in and pitching you on everything that I'm going to be telling you I can do for you, I'd rather be relevant and specific. So I'd like to approach today through asking a lot of questions and having open, honest conversation on both sides. Because if we can do that and we can promise that to each other, then what we're going to guarantee is that by the end of this conversation, we're going to know whether or not there's a need for a further dialogue to evaluate this further, or if there's not a fit. And I'm going to be the first one to tell you both. But the only way I can answer that question for you is if you are open enough to give me the information I need, which isn't what you think I'm going to ask for. I don't care about your plans. I don't care about your rates. I don't care about what everybody else has done. What I care about is your process for making decisions. What I care about is the history of why you've gotten to where you've gotten and the information that you've been provided to empower you to make better decisions. And when I understand that, and I understand how you operate as an organization, what your goals, your priorities are, and how does your decision-making process come into play, then I can actually be an effective advisor to help you think through how to do this better. Because the marketing of the insurance is the easy part, but it's only 5% of what we do, even though most people say it's 90% of what we do, right? So this was my background, and I just gave an example, but why? We have to open our prospects to possibility, or they will never come into our world.
Incredible insights there. And I really like, once again, is that concept of, hey, look, we're going to have to fire somebody else. But that's why I'm talking with you right now, is because I have a problem. And can you help solve my problem? And then what you just said right there is taking the next step of understanding what the real problem is so you could solve it. That's the golden key. Brian, thank you so much for being on $4 Million Strategies today.